Hello, my name is Joe Fuehne. I'm the director of the Purdue Polytechnic location in Columbus. I also teach robotics classes for Purdue Polytechnic. I want to talk to you today about robotics. Robotics technology influences every aspect of work and home. Robotics has the potential to positively transform lives and work practices, raise efficiency and safety levels, and provide enhanced levels of service. Most robots are used within the automotive vehicle and their vehicle assembly lines. Some 90% of all robots created are used within this industry. However, you can also find robots working in the food packaging, appliance building, electronic industries, and many others. Robots are typically used in industries like automobile manufacturing to perform simple, repetitive tasks, and in industries where work must be performed in environments hazardous to humans. A robotics engineer is the behind-the-scenes designer who is responsible for creating robots and robotic systems that are able to perform duties that humans are either unable or prefer not to complete. Through their creations, a robotics engineer helps to make jobs safer and more efficient, particularly in the manufacturing industry. Robotics engineer will spend most of their time designing the plans to build robots. They also design the processes necessary for the robot to run correctly. Some of these professionals are also responsible for designing the machines that actually assemble the robots. Once the design phase has been completed, only then do they move toward assembling the unit. Prior to a robot being constructed, the engineer will first have to research and determine exactly what the robot will be used for and the manner in which it will accomplish its goal. For these professionals, the building process takes a great deal of time. Robots are highly technical and difficult to create, and the task can be very tricky. Robotics engineers will typically spend about half their time in a lab and half their time in an office. Time in the lab will typically be spent working on small mechanical parts that are components of the larger robot they are creating. Time in the office might include using programming in languages like Python or C, or using ladder logic to design a systematic workflow for the robot. The day-to-day activities of a robotics engineer would be things like building, configuring, and testing robots, designing software systems to control the robotic systems, such as those robots used for manufacturing, designing automated robotic systems that are used to increase the production and precision levels within a specific industry, analyzing and evaluating the prototypes and robotic systems they have created. This is generally a never-ending task, since technology and engineering is constantly changing and advancing. They may also review and approve cost estimates and design calculations. They may serve as technical support for the robotic systems they have created. They may teach paths to robots, teach robots to go and do a particular task, performing research into the design, operation, and performance of robotic mechanism components or systems. Do you think you might like to be a robotics engineer? What are the sort of characteristics that they have? Do you like to take things apart and hopefully put them back together again? Are you curious about how things work? Do you ever ask, how did they do that? Do you thrive on troubleshooting and solving problems? Robotics engineers have very distinct personalities. They tend to be investigative individuals, which means they're intellectual, introspective, and inquisitive. They are curious, methodical, analytical, and logical. Some of them are also very realistic, meaning they're independent, stable, genuine, practical, and thrifty. What about the education required to be a robotics engineer? We have degree programs at Purdue Polytechnic, bachelor's degree programs in robotics engineering technology, mechatronics engineering technology, or automation and systems integration engineering technology. Courses in degree programs typically include general training in mathematics, physics, chemistry, pneumatics and hydraulics, numerically controlled systems, CAD/CAM systems, integrated systems, logic, and microprocessors. Robotics technology relies heavily on the expertise of several engineering disciplines. Engineers who specialize in robotics may also have degrees in electrical engineering technology, industrial engineering technology, or mechanical engineering technology. Also critical is an ability to communicate in both written and oral formats, and to be able to work in a team environment. What about job prospects and earnings for robotics engineers? Starting salaries would be around $60,000 per year. Currently, average salaries for robotics professionals are around $99,000 per year. The top 20% of robotics professionals are earning more than $182,000 per year. These statistics come from careerexplorer.com. We see that on that website that a growth rate of 6% is projected for robotics engineers, and that robotics engineers have very high job satisfaction. I teach robotics engineering, an introduction to robotics for Purdue Polytechnic. One of the things that I use in my class are Lego robots. So yes, these are toys, but this piece right here, this blocky looking piece, is a computer. The robot as well has sensors on it. So this is a light sensor. Touch sensor is this one. The eyes here are an ultrasonic sensor, so they actually act like a bat using echolocation. The robot has motors as well, 2 of them down here, 1 of them up there. We can actually program the robot using several different languages. Might be something like Robot C or Python, different types of languages that we can use to program the robot. Basically, with a toy, we can do very much of everything that you might see happen on something like a self-driving automobile. Typically, the same kinds of sensors, so the same types of programming languages would be used to program it. So we can do many of the same things with robots in much larger sense that we can do that with a Lego.